Good evening, my name's Alex Campbell,
I'm Jasper.
and you're watching Examining Cinema. So before we talk about Dune, let's talk about Dune! My first experiences with Dune is about a decade ago.
You fucking
This renegade, right?
Your first experiences with Dune.
This guy, right, at the Palmers, he was waffling on about Dune. Still suits and shit and
This
blah,
curly
blah.
haired, like, fucking nutball.
Yeah, degenerate. And I was like, dude, Star Wars. And anyway...
Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, okay.
He's waffling on about Dune. I'm like, Dune, fine. You brought a copy of Dune. You specifically brought a copy of Dune from the bookshop because you didn't know where your copy was for me to read. And I read it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's pretty good. And then, I don't know, you kept on waffling on about it, and it didn't quite resonate with me. The language was very formal and particular, and it wasn't like Tolkien or Feast or Martin or Thompson and airy fairy where you can enjoy every sentence within like this flowing art of like language and how a sentence is constructed.
Well, you couldn't do that. You gotta get in Terry Pratchett.
True. I should get
Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett frames every single sentence perfectly. Like if you just want to literally marvel at
the written word,
at the use of the written word,
which
Terry Pratchett's fucking amazing.
I quite enjoy doing. So yeah, I should check out
Get into Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett is like what it's like Hunter S. Thompson. But it's like fantasy and silly as opposed to
drug-addled politics of the 60s.
Yeah. He has a lot of similarities. He goes off on crazy tangents and stuff.
That's
and
amazing.
He's got a lot of the same. He's a very similar beat rhythm. He has a very similar rhythm to Hunter S. Thompson.
That's cool. I should definitely check out Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, Terry Pratchett's
Jesus
fucking
Christ!
amazing.
I should read Terry Pratchett. I love Hunter S. Thompson.
Aaron has just started a Discworld GURPS D&D game.
I know.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's gonna be great. I'm a goblin who's trying to become a wizard.
I wish I could be part of it,
it's
but
fucking
I'm
amazing.
working a job in hospitality.
It's gonna be fucking great.
We're playing role-playing games, people. And yeah, then fucking, I don't know, I read the book again. So I read the book, that's a good story, I get it. I get how the mechanics of the narrative work, it functions.
Wait till the third book.
Then I read the book again, and I'm like, once again, it continues to be a good book. In the meantime, I'm reading other books. Then I listen to the audiobook, I'm like, oh, wow. And the audiobook, there's this Audible version, which they did with like 16 voice artists, and it's just like, it's fucking so amazing and engaging and enthralling. And then I listen to that, then I listen like to the next 5, and it's like, okay, now
it's
I
not until
fucking
like
get
God
it.
Emperor of Dune. God Emperor of Dune kind of gives context to the rest of the series.
Well,
in a weird way, even though it's like the fourth or third book or whatever, I'm not sure. Fourth. The fourth book in the series. It's so far down the line. It's so far removed from everything that's happening in these films. It's so God Emperor of Dune is the thing that it is like the thesis for what the story is about.
The premise of the story.
Of the whole series.
This is what we're leading to.
But it's not until like the fourth
examination
book you start to realize. Yeah.
The tyrannical dictator.
It's Herbert said this. The point of the series, and I'm butchering the fuck out of this, and paraphrasing to the point, but to a ridiculous point. But the point of the series is that you should never trust these heroic figures. They always get into power and they always become corrupt. And even if they have the most perfect of intentions, it leads them astray. Even Paul himself is incapable of achieving the golden path because he couldn't take on the worm form.
Yeah, he's not the chosen one.
No.
He's a person who's fallen into...
Quidats Haderach.
Yeah, and a mentat. and fucking all these other things. Yeah, so I listened to the audiobooks and it completely encapsulated and absorbed my very essence. And yeah, those first 4 books are some of the greatest sci-fi
It's amazing.
ever created, ever. Film, television, story, yeah.
It's just next level.
Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor Dune, fucking amazing. Check them out, listen to them, so good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then the trailer for Dune came out, and I started listening to them again. And I'm like fucking halfway through Dune now for the 4th time. Read it twice, 2nd time I'm listening to the audiobook. You just kept on waffling on about Dune, Jasper. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm trying to talk about Star Wars here.
Well, and this is the conversation now. Since he's recognised Dune, so Hyperion.
You have mentioned that before.
You need to read Hyperion next. That's the next step. Come on.
Well, listen to Dune.
This is where you need to go. You've done Dune. Now you need to do Hyperion.
What about Isaac Asimov's Foundation?
No. You definitely didn't do Isaac Asimov's Foundation. We did Rendezvous with Rima.
We did Rendezvous with Rima.
You got to do. You're doing the Expanse. Expanse is great. Hyperion is going in that crazy direction, the crazy fantasy direction. So it's coming back in a weird way. It's you're going down the what's called hard science path. The Isaac Asimov, the Foundation, Expanse, fucking Rendezvous with Rima, all that stuff is amazing and fantastic. But you've gone down that path. There's this other path that Hyperion's on, which is like fantasy, but the first Hyperion Chronicles, or the first three books in the Hyperion series, they're fucking amazing. You need to watch them. You need to listen to them, or you need to read them.
I think they're on YouTube.
I did start playing them for you at one point.
Yeah, it was right before we went to see Tool live in Sydney.
It's great.
Yeah, no, it's really like visceral, blatant language, the way he was describing this shit.
Very blunt, yeah.
So Dune's 2000 sci-fi series, which is what we're talking about. I guess it's like a somewhat accurate adaptation. The visuals, the costumes, the sets, the acting is terrible.
It's garbage. Terrible.
Yeah. The dialogue is ripped from the book a lot of the time, but they can't get away from just blatantly every scene just being exposition as to this in-depth universe.
It's the first episode, and they're trying to build it up, and there's 3 episodes, and
you're introducing 28 characters. You're introducing the Padishah Emperor, and the Sardaukar, and the Harkonnen, and Atreides, and Arrakis, and the spice, and the impact of the melange, and the Fremen, and all of this.
But you don't need to set every single one of those beats up. You can leave a lot of that up to the person, in the viewer, to just like imagine. You can just leave all that shit out. Who cares?
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, they don't need to give you. It's like they're every single beat that they've gone down and gone. Okay, we need to establish, for any of the story to make any sense, we need to establish all of the. And it's like, no, you've missed the point of the story.
Yeah, it's archetypical hero's journey.
You just need to tell the. Well, that's what cinema does. It just tells the archetypal stories. It doesn't go into all those details. It doesn't have time. And that's the problem here, is it's trying to set you up like you would set up if you were sitting down to a fucking 20-hour novel. But you can't do that. It doesn't make any fucking sense to do that.
Wasteland of the Empire, and the most valuable planet in the universe. Because it is here, and only here, where spice is found.
A deceptive balance of power exists between the Emperor, the Congress of Royal Houses, and the supposedly impartial Spacing Guild with its invulnerable monopoly on interstellar transport.
I am a mentat. I trust logic and statistics.
Explain our plan, mentat.
The plan is elegant and vicious.
dear Baron.
Those are Fremen, desert people. It's the spice. It's everywhere. The air, the food. By the time a Fremen child is 12, his eyes have turned completely blue.
It's just, I think it's hard because the novel just does immediately go to this extreme effort of setting up all this crazy in-depth mythology and like political intrigue.
What's the setting?
Yeah. So
As I said to you early on in this episode, there's a scene where the Mantat is lecturing Paul on one of the guild ships as they're traveling to Arrakis.
yeah,
Which is great because that's all set up in the books. And at one point, Paul is saying to, is it Hiert Kynes, the Mantat? Is that his name? What was the Mantat's name? I forget. The Atreides Mantat, not the Harkonnen Mantat. I forget his name. Fuck.
Luthier Howard.
Howard, that's it. Howard is the fucking Mantat, and he's lecturing Paul.
Yeah.
And Paul is asking him because Paul is asking him about what a guild navigator looks like and how to fucking well, what a guild navigator
Well,
is.
you're setting up the importance of the spice, right? Why is the
There's all
spice
of that.
so integral to the functioning
There's
of the
all
universe?
of that. There's all of that, but fucking what is his name?
Howard.
Sorry. Howard turns around to Paul and goes, "Don't try and find a guild navigator. Don't breach our contracts with the guild to try to see a guild navigator because you'll fuck up everything."
Yeah.
The real purpose of that scene was to convey the fact that Paul Atreides is capable of doing these things.
Yeah.
And it got subverted by the necessity to establish all this
Explain the function of the universe.
the spice and the economy and the fucking all that.
Well,
you
when
didn't
do you-
need all of that. Stop. Yeah, you
Well,
don't
then
need
if you
to
don't do that
explain
though,
everything.
like when do you get to that?
You don't need to explain it.
You just
You
let
just
it
have
play out
shit-
naturally.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you have
Like,
characters.
People
you have really
don't normally
naturalistic.
explain stuff.
They don't say
like
each other's
that.
names so often
But
too.
if there's a scenario where we're like arguing over money,
We don't say.
there's
"Whoa."
not normally a third party that turns to the camera and like explains the context of money.
What money is, how it functions within the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, that doesn't normally
its
happen.
importance within the culture.
Yeah.
How long it's been resonating throughout
We just
society.
and so that's what you need. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
very quickly, aha, the spice
Yeah.
is money, and that's literally all you need.
So right, if Villeneuve's film, it just plays out as like a character drama, and each scene just plays out one after the other. Will it have enough time to set up this universe and how it functions and all of these characters?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
It's not able to, right?
It shouldn't even attempt it.
It doesn't need to.
No.
It should be a story.
Like
It
if
should
you
be
were gonna
narrative.
like let's say I wanted to make a good Hulk film.
Yes, go
Right.
on.
The beginning of the film
Isn't setting up what the
is
fuck
Hulk is Hulk, and we're just going to assume you know what the fuck Hulk is. That's why you bought a ticket to a Hulk film.
Yeah.
That's what Dune needs to be. Dune needs to be, this is the Dune film. If you don't know what's going on, then fucking leave.
That's interesting. So come into it.
Do not come into the film expect not knowing
yeah.
what. Please, for the love of God, do not go through all the fucking arduousness of
Because that's
setting up the Dune. It's already been set up.
because that's 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
Setting up the world, and the
Butlerian
politics.
jihad and the fucking Chome company,
Yeah.
all the way
The,
that
the ecology of Arrakis and the herpetology of how everything functions and the rain.
Look, okay, we saw that with Lord of the Rings. They did a good job with Lord of
They
the Rings.
did do a really good job with Lord of the Rings. And what
Okay.
did they do? They had a small prologue at the beginning of the film. Legend became legend, myth became myth. The forging of the Nine Rings.
That was straight up a rip-off of Lynch's Dune. They did the exact same thing with Lynch's Dune.
But that really worked.
Yeah, they did it well with Lord of the Rings.
And then it just went into the Shire.
But- no.
and then it's just like, this is what we're doing in the Shire.
What I'm saying is that Lynch set that up. right? Lynch already figured it out, and it was just that fucking Lord of the Rings. Peter Jackson, sorry. It was just that Peter Jackson's. Oh, that works, and grabbed it and took it.
I didn't get anyone
Really?
made that connection before, Jasper.
It definitely was
that
set
Peter
up.
Jackson is borrowing from David Lynch's Dune. This is a
can't
revelation. This is a YouTube revelation.
Are you
Jasper.
suggesting that like you couldn't go through Peter Jackson's work and not see homages to other?
I mean, Peter Jackson is a B/horror gore fan
the idea
who
that
made
he's
the
not-
greatest trilogy of all time.
Of course,
randomly out of happenstance.
What is it? It's Lady Galadriel giving you the. You've got Lady Galadriel. Is it not Lady Galadriel giving you the exposition for the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah,
scenes?
yeah.
And then you've got the
Irulan.
Emperor's. And then you've got the Emperor's.
But that's in the
daughter.
book.
Yeah, but the scene where it's on her face and there's the space behind her,
Yeah.
and then the scene of
Arrakis.
Galadriel. They're the same.
Okay,
That's the same
interesting.
thing.
That's very interesting.
Right? They did it well in Lord of the Rings. They didn't do it well in Dune. Are they going to repeat that again? I don't want them to just go, okay, here's the thing that works. We know this works. This is how you describe a fantasy setting. And that's now a trope.
You sit
That's
down
the
and
way
you talk
you
down.
describe that. And please don't do that. I would be very disappointed if they do
So
that.
you just enter the Gom Jabba.
Yeah.
That's the first.
Straight up, Paul's like trying to figure out what the fuck my mother just left me. Paul's a young guy. He's
Well,
you know,
no, right. So like he's a 15-year-old boy. He has
15.
this crazy like future dream about some bitch.
And then his mother goes,
like-
"All right, get up. I've got this old friend I want you to talk to." Leaves him in the room with the old friend. He's freaked out about assassins and stuff because he's a royal family. And
Where your hand in the box.
put your hand in the fucking box. You're
if you
gonna
put
die.
your hand out of the box, I'm gonna
You're
kill
gonna
you.
fucking die. And he's like, "Wait, my mother left me with this woman." And like, no, you're gonna fucking die
Put
if
your
you
hand
don't
in the box.
fucking put your hand in the
Yeah.
box, or you don't leave your hand in the box.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna kill you. If you pull your hand out of the box, I'm gonna stab you in the neck.
Yeah,
kill
and
you.
you're gonna die.
And that's the first thing.
That's the first thing. Like
Yeah.
fuck you. We're not here to hold your hand.
Yeah, no, that's right. He's got 3 hours to do the first half of the book.
Yeah.
Villainy. We're not even talking about the Dune series.
Go and read the book.
I guess, but does that work with a mass audience?
I don't give a fuck.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
It's for me, not for you.
It's for hardcore Dune fans who know the universe in and out and all the functionings of every aspect
I
of
reckon
this
it would be such a
infinitely
greater
in-depth
film.
universe.
It would be such a greater film if they did that right. If they didn't.
But then would it work?
I think one
For Mark?
No. What you would do is that by not explaining that, you would just give really simple explanations officially, but by
Yeah.
not explaining, it's like Star Wars. How will the technology, like the original trilogy,
Yeah,
you go back and watch the original
Force.
trilogy, how everything works. It doesn't really make any fucking sense at all. They haven't.
Magic.
They have, well, just even the technology. How they're zipping from planet
Oh,
to
it doesn't
planet.
explain anything.
It doesn't
happening.
bother to do any of that, and you buy into it so fucking
well,
quickly.
Do you know, I saw Empire Strikes Back at the cinema for the first time, like a couple of weeks ago. And it was so incredibly, like, obvious how simple of a story that is, right? Space wizards, the chosen one,
It
sword
doesn't
in the
need
stone,
to be anything else.
Merlin.
This is a film. You've already got the
Right.
visual medium to distill your disbelief.
Yeah. No, your hand is very black. What are you touching?
I think it's this.
Yeah, because I know, I think through the Lynch film and this, we've established you can't just exposition dump.
No.
You can't just have every scene as a blatant exposition dump about, well, the first one's about the Emperor, the second one's about the spice, the third one's about Arrakis, and then I'm going to explain the Fremen, then we're going to explain this, and like, you can't do that because you're not telling a story.
No.
You're vomiting information.
It may as well be an
into-
audiobook at that point.
You might as well listen to the fucking audiobook. Just listen to the fucking audiobook. Yeah. So the actor that plays Paul, he's like 45. In the book, when I just have recently started re-listening to it, Paul is kind of quite like harsh and vitriol with people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come across as like edgy or like teenage angst. It comes across as like competent and like assertive. But this guy in this fucking thing, like, there are a few moments where, like, he has, like, a
He's
Anakin
throwing
Skywalker
tantrum.
moment.
He's like
yeah,
throwing a tantrum.
A great comparison to the book, I guess, is the sequence, the dinner room sequence. So in the book, we set up all these characters who have all these purposes within this multifaceted economy.
Yeah, that's the point. It's all this
of
political
Arrakis.
stuff that's happening.
All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Okay, Leto, right, he's coming down. We'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. The dinner room sequence. We'll come back to that.
Sequence.
The dread. They all know this is a fucking trap, right? The book immediately sets up the fact that they know they're entering into a death trap. The Harkonnens have been running Arrakis, and due to political sways, the Atreides are now able to come down onto this planet and envelop this commodity. But they all know that this is a fucking trap. Immediately in the book, Yui is a traitor. We hear first-person perspectives from Yui. We're cutting to the Baron Harkonnen. We know that the Emperor's in on it. Leto's like, this is a fucking trap, I'm gonna die. They set up Leto's father, who was gorged by the bull.
Yeah, we didn't get to the bull. That was the thing. There's no bull in this. Where's the bull?
Yeah.
That's such a big thing, is the bull that gored Leto's father.
And it's just an analogy for Leto, right? He was the matador. He was down, and he was prancing, and he was dancing, and he underestimated the sheer masculine force at hand, and it gored him and killed him. That's exactly what's happening to Leto.
Yeah.
The Bene Gesserit at the beginning says it. She says he's doomed. He's dead. Like it's all fucking happening, and there's this massive dread and horror and building to this moment. We get the Seeker sequence where it comes after Paul, but in this show, there's none of that. Just dread and absolute horror. You're entering into this situation which is so fucking terrifying.
Everything is delivered so robotically
and flat and emotionless.
Yeah, there's no one is. Paul's finding out about this for the first time. He's totally
Arrakis.
Yeah, it's like he's been born into this world as a 42-year-old, 13-year-old, right? Like he's totally
Drink that
fucking
water first.
unawares about the universe and the world at large.
Yeah. I need to go get some Coke.
I was gonna drink that.
I'll go get some Coke. You can either talk to the camera or I'll just pause it.
Fuck.
Go on. Paul Atreides, they're entering into this death trap. Like the situation is immediately set up. There are no secrets hidden. We get all these moments of Irulan in between each chapter, revelating what has happened. She talks about the downfall of House Atreides and the history of the Emperor and everything before we even have it. It's really weird how no secrets are left. Like Yui is not revealed later on to be the traitor. It's immediately revealed that Yui's a traitor. We get first person perspective into his wife and the capture. Irulan she's verbalizing to the audience this fucking story. This is how it's going to happen, and it happens, and it just plays out beat for beat, and it's so engaging.
Thing, right? That's the prescience.
Well, yeah, I guess that leads later on into like the idea
He's
of
the white savior.
Jas.
That's why it's engaging for you, Alex, because you're a cis male.
It's the archetypical hero story. It's Jesus, it's Noah, it's Goliath, it's David, well, it's Star Wars, right? It's Luke Skywalker, it's Merlin, it's the Sword in the Stone, it's the archetypical hero's journey.
Yeah.
But I'm racist. That's what we're getting at.
Yeah, that's what we're getting at.
Yeah,
Alex has specifically told me, he said to me, Jasper, I am racist.
What did I say?
That's what you said.
And what did you say?
You said yes. I said yes.
I'm glad we've had this conversation. Yeah, so there's no tension or suspense around entering into this horrific death trap. Like the Villeneuve trailer, when you see the Gom Jabbar scene, and I really hope it's just filled with fucking horror.
Yes.
Because that scene should be horrific. And then you're entering into a scenario that
What
it's
did I
going to
say?
end
It's,
in the destruction of this castle.
It's the Chronicles of Riddick. What was was it the second film or third film? What was the one where he became king?
Yeah, Chronicles of Riddick, I think.
Chronicles
the
of
second
Riddick.
one. Yeah.
It's the Chronicles of Riddick aesthetic, but just like toned down so it's nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's not toned down in every aspect, but it's just toned down where it needs to be. Because that film just went too ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they've just toned it down to make it nice.
Yeah, well, this is blatant and obvious. Like, the Atreides, the whole family lives in white, and we cut to the Harkonnens, and everything's red. Every angle is a Dutch angle. It's just... Oh, the costume design is baffling. Shaddam, Emperor the Fourth, the costume...
Oh, no, that's an amazing scene.
The
The Emperor is just...
purple, like, glitter. It just...
Worthy to be your firstborn, hmm?
They tell me her ambitions tend more to the literary than the political.
There are so many elements which
He's got this big fucking pendant.
I mean, like, he's an important character, right?
Yeah,
but you can't take him seriously.
But he's got to deliver these lines like an important character, but he's dressed up like a fucking fairy.
But there's so many moments that should carry like suspense and be impactful, but they're not because of like the set design and the costume design. Like, just for an example, like the still suits. Like, the still suits have such a big part to play within the narrative, and then you see them in this and they look like dog shit. They look cheap, they look dumb, they don't look like they're good, like, the sandworms, right? The sandworms.
Yeah.
See, okay, like...
The CG is terrible.
This is a 2000s sci-fi TV original.
They relied far too much on CG for what they were capable of.
Well, they couldn't afford models.
For what they were capable of.
But yeah, there are so many... Well, the shot where the sandworm takes the...
I mean, unfortunately,
Spice
that's a shot.
mining
How do
facility.
you do that without
Money.
money?
If you can't do it with models, because that'd be more expensive, and you got to do it with really cheap CGI in the 2000s. You know, they were trying. There's a lot of dialogue that
It'd
is
be
just
interesting.
ripped from the book.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to see how Villeneuve does it.
I was going to say it would be interesting to see what it would look like if it was just done in high definition. Do you know what I mean? If they just, like we were talking about the fact that it's not shot on film, and so that any copies you have of it are really garbage.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. The resolution is terrible.
I'm going to have to wash my hands.
What have you been
I
touching?
think this is where I've been cleaning that fucking thing. I didn't realise.
Show the camera your hands. They're black. Alright, I'll pause it and you wash your hands. Oh my god. So what were you saying, Jasper?
I have no fucking idea. My hands are black.
I'm trying to say because you're not reading way
There's so much.
There's so much. It's just like, yeah, okay, so like the weirding way, like the way they describe it in the book, it's this ultra like prescient ability to analyze human perception and then with that to be able to manipulate people deep within their psyche, and within this they just have like a dumb Gould voice. It's like, I am.
How do you express that though in the medium of TV?
You can't in this time frame.
What are you gonna reckon they're gonna do with the new one? Is it gonna be like a weird, crazy,
don't know!
sonic wave
Can you do
effect
this?
as they speak?
Can you adapt Dune?
I don't know. Is Dune unadaptable?
That's what they said about Lord of the Rings. Then
Is
this
it?
punk rock fucking gore horror B-schlock guy from New Zealand was like, BAM! Done it!
He did do it.
He did it.
He did do it.
And then he fell from grace.
Yeah.
But he did it. Maybe Villeneuve is that French-Canadian renegade. I hope he is.
We'll see.
We will see.
NATO's growing more popular every passing week.
Casting. Let's talk about casting.
Oh.
So Paul is way too old. He's way too angsty. They missed the character. They didn't do the character right.
No.
Jessica's fine.
Jessica's fine.
Yeah. Stilgar's short.
Stilgar is the funniest fucking thing I've seen in a long time. That is hilarious.
Stilgar in the book is like,
Holy shit.
he's archetypical like alpha male.
He's
the
like,
leader
should be
of
like
the
a
culture.
6'4" black man.
Yeah. He just commands the authority of this renegade like militia.
Yeah.
Through his
In the-
sheer like
in the fucking
physicality and
desert.
intellect. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this he's this a short, balding, fat,
Really like
hard
Greek looking
dude.
dude.
Yeah. They don't set up Duncan at all in this.
No.
You don't know who Duncan is, why Duncan is, if Duncan is.
He's just another one of
He's a guy.
Leto's like lackeys at this point.
The movie, Villeneuve's movie is going to go into Duncan so much because it's Momoa.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been saying that. They're a bit like, on Momoa.
Maybe not. I wouldn't be surprised if Momoa's got 3 scenes. You know
I mean, how many scenes can you have with Momoa? If you're telling the downfall of the Atreides house, you've got
it's
3 hours.
It's not about fucking Duncan Otto.
No, it's about Paul.
Yeah, he's not going to be in it much.
Yeah.
Even if they go into it a lot, even if they go into the Duncan Idaho
3,
storyline,
4 sequences.
yeah, it's not going to be a lot.
Same with Leto. Like, Leto is this great fucking leader who's really emotionally distant, but he's super competent, and we get this great scene with the spice miners where, like, he doesn't care about the equipment or the facility, he cares about his people, but
And then
yet...
he fucking dies.
Well, well, with Jessica and Paul, like, he's a good man, but he's distant and he's never there and he's angry. It's like, how many scenes can you have with Leto to set him up before, like, he's dead.
Well, that's the thing.
He's dead.
He's got to be dead. It's
He's
got to be
dead.
sudden.
He
It's gotta
dies.
you can't spend
Brutal.
all this time on this character because
We're entering into the death trap. The death trap is
Yeah,
awakened.
good luck. Now you're in
family's
the fucking
doomed.
because that's the story, right? Good luck. Now you're in the desert.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you start intaking
Walk
the
through
spice.
Desert, the horse.
Are you implying that Jessica is a horse with no name? But that's sexist, Jasper. You may have said up previously that I'm racist, but that's a sexist representation of Jessica, to be honest with you. She's a very competent, strong female character. She's not a horse with no name. I'm actually quite offended at your proposition. She's also but she's not. She plays a big part in the narrative moving forward.
No.
Okay. Ilea in the book, she gives all these cultural insights in between each chapter, but she is not a character that plays any part of the narrative whatsoever.
No, she shouldn't
Then all
even
of
be
a sudden, they need to rock her up with fucking 18 butterflies pinned to her dress. The costume looks terrible.
And, like I said, if you're gonna rock up to Arrakis with a jewel, it would be a butterfly.
It works metaphorically, it just doesn't work literally. It looks terrible.
Yeah,
It's terrible costume design.
no, it's garbage.
It is, yeah.
They were like, what the fuck do we do? Just pin these fucking butterflies on her.
Gentlemen and ladies, Her Royal Majesty Princess Gurulan Torino.
Yeah, but like, she's not the romance. They set up this romance with her, and she's not the romance at all. The romance is Cheney. Cheney's the concubine.
I haven't seen the other two in this series, but do they?
I don't know.
Yeah, Cheney's supposed to be the one that he falls in love with.
I'm guessing they set up a love triangle between Paul Atreides and Ilea.
At the end, at the end, he marries Aaliyah to cement his rule over the galaxy.
It's a political move.
But
He's marrying the daughter of the Emperor.
Spoilers. But yeah, no, he's not. He doesn't even meet her.
No,
From what I remember, he has no contact with her at all. There's no.
She's right at the end of Dune, and then Children of Dune. She's like, wow, I really wish that there was an emotional connection between my partner and I.
And he's like, nah.
But this is a political marriage.
Yeah.
And she's like, when are we going to cement our political relationship with
like,
children?
nah.
She's like, never. and yeah, Cheney is a love interest.
Yeah.
But in this, they go to the effort of setting her up as a character and introducing her in like the first act of Dune. Because they needed a love interest. But not Cheney?
Yeah, well, they couldn't set Cheney up. Yeah. I guess they're going to do, like a love triangle where it's Paul
I'm guessing that
and
Cheney plays a part in the story, right?
Yeah, well, they did set up the fact that he's attracted to Fremen women.
They did.
That was the scene where he had to be attracted to a Fremen woman.
Yeah.
One of the natives.
Yeah, he's into exotic women.
Come, Paul. The men are waiting.
Me? Right now?
It's time you participated.
Seeing a lot of... Another one of the big elements that lets it down is the desert, right? The desert is a character. The desert is such a big element within the narrative. It impacts every element.
I mean, they did the whole setting up of the water ceremony thing, and like
they do, but they don't film on a desert. It's like a cheap CGI green screen. Like if this is a character, like you need to show the character in its vast, epic.
Oh, they need some like
shots of the desert.
Shots.
Yeah, like even stock footage.
Yeah.
Like cut some stock footage of a desert in there.
Just with some filters over it to make the sun look a little bit of a different colour.
Do something. Don't make it CGI.
No.
Because you can't afford to convey the character of the desert.
Fucking Sahara Desert and get some shots.
Yeah, well, I can't say drone. It was 20 years ago. I mean, I guess, they're not going out the Sahara, are they? But, like, stock footage. Like, get stock footage. Like, cut in some shots of Lawrence of Arabia or something. Like,
straight up, just
like
shots from Lawrence of Arabia.
Well, it's like the still suits, the Sardaukar, the worms, the desert.
Superimpose Paul Atreides over Lawrence of Arabia and still, like, scream it's not a white saviour story.
Well, I mean, like, is Dune not Lawrence of Arabia?
I mean, at one level, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. On like a very basic mythological level, yeah. I mean, is that what people are really saying? It's a white saviour story?
Yes!
Is it not a white saviour story?
It's supposed to be a subversion of the white saviour story.
Well, yeah, because he's not the saviour, right? He's a guy, and he was wrong.
He gets all fucked up.
And his eyes get burnt out of his fucking head. Then his fucking son becomes a worm monster. And rules as
humanity for a fucking eternity.
Tyrannical dictator over the entire universe for thousands of fucking years. Yeah. So the white man is evil. Yes, Frank Herbert, the white man is evil. We all know it.
But really, what we need to be talking about is global warming propaganda.
The Black Panther died.
No. How much, like, as you were saying, right? Ecology is a massive part of this story. It's all about ecology.
Yeah, that plays a massive element within the narrative.
So, how much global warming, whether or not you fall on the pro, whether or not you've got fall on the pro or against side, I'm not stating my position. All I'm saying is they're going to be how much of this film is going to sway into the we are slowly boiling our planet.
Yeah, that's a very easy narrative to interject into this story, to be honest. It fits right in there.
Yeah, if you want to subvert this story and take it into a political sphere, that's a very easy way to do it.
Yeah. Al Gore. It's all a myth, people. Use your hairspray.
We'll see what happens.
I don't know. Is Villeneuve impacted on that level, though?
I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm just saying. We'll see.
Everyone's so worried and pent up. This is going to be like a shill fest. I don't know why. I don't know if there's been any indication
Because
why.
no one has ever been able to make a good adaptation of it.
That's fair.
It's an amazing series. It's a mind-blowing series, especially if you read it at the right age. Right? Like if you get this series at the right age, it's fucking revolutionary. It's revelationary.
Yeah.
Reveals all these things about the world to you. It's like a level up in your understanding of the way humans function.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's this beloved series, and no one has been able to upgrade that series to a visual medium that's easily processed by the masses.
Yeah, well, I guess, like George Roski's Dune, and then Lynch, and then this fucking pile of garbage.
This garbage is,
I feel like...
So the assumption is that this is going to be the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, with a lot of my posts, there's been a lot of the, well, fucking people have tried and failed to do this, why do it again? You know, I don't know. They've never done it right?
It takes the visionary. It's like
A Lord of the Rings.
No, I was going to say Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right, like they needed those to write the episodes, but they couldn't do it by themselves.
They needed the books.
They needed the books.
Yeah.
Like it needed both aspects to create this global phenomenon.
God damn it! If only they had stuck the landing, eh? I didn't want that to fail. That's one of the fucking sad things. I feel like at the YouTube channels out there, like they just revel in the drama. I'm not in it for the fucking drama. Like I love fucking sci-fi media.
I stopped watching it.
I would have loved for Star Wars to be good.
I never finished it because it was just like, it's not gonna. It's the same Star Wars. I didn't finish it because it's like this is not. I've done this before.
Yeah.
I stuck through the motherfucking Wheel of Time before audiobooks, like reading the motherfucking Wheel of Time. I stuck through that shit.
Old man.
It was amazing.
And then?
But I don't recommend it on anyone. Right?
No, you've actually never recommended it to me.
No, don't try to sit down and read the fucking Wheel of Time.
15 books.
It's a waste of your time.
Jesus Christ, Jasper.
It's great. It's a waste of your time. For the same reason I didn't because I've already been down that path. I didn't need to finish fucking stuff. What was I going to get out of the last Star Wars film?
AIDS.
Well, I don't particularly want AIDS.
Well, I got them and they were good. Thank you, Star Wars. As soon as I sat down on my chair, AIDS. That was literally a spit take, Jasper.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, no, I guess I understand why it's assumed that this will be a failure, but like I'm coming from a Villeneuve world. Like I've watched like Sicario and Arrival and Prisoners and Blade Runner 2049.
What is
like
Prisoners?
Oh, dude, Prisoners is just fucking hectic drama with Hugh Jackman as his father, and his daughter is abducted, and like Jake Gyllenhaal is like a detective trying to figure it out, and you got the guy from There Will Be Blood, the Eli. You should have been as a jar. Eli is like the murderer, right? And Hugh Jackman, and just like much like Twin Peaks, much on a level of like Parenthood and Dark. Actually, I started watching Dark. Dark really.
What the fuck is Dark?
Dark is this like Norwegian. We started watching.
Oh, is that the thing we started watching?
Yeah, this Norwegian.
That was garbage.
Maybe.
Alright, I don't want to watch it at night time with you.
Well, you're high and drunk.
I didn't say
That's
that.
fair enough. No,
It's really depressing. Dark
that's
really
fair,
depressing.
The Prisoners, Prisoners is by Villeneuve, and it's Hugh Jackman, and it's a story about a child that's abducted, and this father.
Wait. Who are we talking about now?
Hugh Jackman,
No. The director person?
the guy who's making Dune.
He's the same one that did Dark?
No.
Okay.
He did Prisoners and Sicario.
What does Dark have to do with that?
Dark very much, and Twin Peaks. I referenced Twin Peaks. They hammer into this element of the psyche of parenthood, where I feel like if Steve or someone who doesn't have kids watched this, it wouldn't work as well. But it's hinged on the emotional beat of like your child disappearing and being murdered, raped, slaughtered, blah 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 blah. Yeah, and he makes this film with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal and the guy from There Will Be Blood about this child being abducted, and Hugh Jackman is the main protagonist, and basically he takes it to the...
Hugh Jackman do a good job?
Always.
Like fucking X-Men 2?
Yes, yeah. I won't spoil it for you. Watch Prisoners. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, well, fucking, I don't know. People are like, fuck Dune, it's not going to work, it's going to be garbage. We're like, I'm coming from a world of knowing about Dune and knowing about Villeneuve and like this director, and I'm like, I don't know, like, I have faith. Like, I watched Blade Runner 2049, like, I think maybe
that was a really good movie.
That was a really good movie.
That was a surprisingly good movie.
Sequel to fucking Blade Runner. Okay. A sequel to Blade Runner, and then you sit down and go, oh,
well,
wow.
that was the thing. Like, Blade Runner, again, was a movie that couldn't be made. That's why he's been given Dune. It's a movie that can't be made.
So can he make it? Within COVID and these restrictions and the craziness and the immense world he has to set up? Is it possible for Villeneuve
I've told you how I would do it. It would be a massive finger to the audience. It'd be
scene for scene.
We're not good. No. I'm not advocating for scene. All I'm advocating for is like, don't bother to do all that arduous setup.
I don't think you can, because it's arduous.
It is. There's no way to get around it. So don't do it.
It's a slog.
So just don't do it. Just assume that people know all the backstory about the Dune universe and start with the characters.
Tell the full of House Atreides.
Yeah, tell the same story. Do it cinematically. Don't do it scene for scene from the books. That's retarded. Do it cinematically from that point, but don't bother with all the setup. Or if you do, give us a little bit of a setup for a momentary setup, and then fucking forget about the setup and write it so as that you don't need the setup.
I mean, yeah, it can be...
It's like Clerks, right? Just take Clerks, right? Take the script of Clerks and set it in the Dune universe. And don't give us any information about the Dune universe. Just take the script of Clerks and adapt it to the Dune universe, and then roll. That's the film.
Clerks. I don't know how that translates to Dune.
But Clerks is great in that you could take those characters and that script and just remove them from all context. Right? Like, there's no context.
It's a moment in time.
There's no greater context in that film. It's
time.
just like you could just plonk that into any setting.
Yeah, it's a
right,
moment in
and just
time.
adapt a few little references that the characters make. That's all you'd need to do, and then you'd have Clerks in the Star Wars universe, in the Death Star as it's being built by and they're serving the various different contractors that they were talking about in the thing. Yeah, like you could do something. Yeah.
If you don't have a scene setting up the epic economics of how the truck stop works and how they make money,
you don't need to do any of that shit.
A deep narrative dive into who Jay is as a character and his drug abuse and his history as a person on the planet. Yeah, I guess that story does work. And yeah, like you're telling, the fall of House Atreides and an archetypical hero's journey. Half of the archetypical.
All we need to know is that House Atreides is like a medieval noble house. That's literally all. That's all the information that's necessary to be portrayed. We don't need anything else.
Overthrown.
Yeah.
some emotional setups between
It doesn't need
Paul,
to be...
Jessica, Leto, the Baron. Yeah, that's interesting. And then us as the elite book readers can then go, well, fucking...
you know.
Actually, the Baron didn't fly. His fat was suspended, and he only walked on 60 kilos. He never flew in any of the books.
He pranced around.
Yeah. And he was an allegory for the Greek Empire, and he was overly deviant and abused children, and Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
man, it gets dark. It gets really fucking dark.
And Lynch leaned into that, eh? Lynch really leaned into that. This doesn't so much. And I don't know if Villeneuve should. But yeah, no, it was all an allegory for the Greek Empire and the hedonism and going so far, and the Emperor falling, and the new Emperor coming, and him being the Messiah. But him actually not being chosen.
Maya Dib.
Lian is Gaib. Yeah, so I don't know. We're going to talk about Dune for hours.
Yeah, no, we definitely could. This show's garbage.
We probably haven't even been talking about this show. But what they try to do is get terrible sets, terrible actors, terrible costume designs. And
I'd be on, like I said to you, I'd be on board for literally everything else if it weren't for the way that every single actor delivers their dialogue. You know, and because
actually, the guy who plays Baron Harkonnen, he's playing it up, and he's camp.
Yeah.
But he's doing it.
I agree with that.
The fat guy, whoever that is.
The rest of them are fucking terrible.
Paul is terrible. Leto is terrible.
That makes me go, okay, well, it must be a director thing. It's got to be a director thing. Then, if all of them are doing the same thing,
apart from this one guy,
it's got to be a director thing.
Who's just no. There's a scene. I don't remember what scene that is.
He's facing the camera and looking up. It's just after Leto's cracked the tooth, and Vladimir Harkonnen fucking floats away from.
And he's self-aware. He knows how cheesy it is. He knows how dumb it is. But the way in which he's performing the dialogue is enjoyable.
He's playing into it.
Yeah,
he's enjoying being evil.
He's able to deliver dialogue that I enjoy. He has a nice cadence and rhythm and style and tone.
Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Yeah.
Right. There's the same guys did fucking not Castlevania, the Dracula fucking anime thing.
Okay.
And there's a scene in that. I remember Aaron showing it to me. Is this fat dude, and he delivers this line where he's like, "We are Nazis." He just delivers it so well. It's so fucking fantastic, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
he's just reveling in his evilness.
Yeah, and that's what this guy was doing.
Yeah,
he knew it was schlock.
Yes,
and he was playing into the schlock. Well, he's a good actor that's been in good movies. They were taking it seriously, but were terrible actors. He was a good actor who knew it was schlock.
He knew it was garbage. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
I feel like maybe the script was... No, the script was just exposition.
Like I said, it's got to be a director thing. It's got to be because it's just reproduced across actor. Across all these different actors. So it's got to be a director thing where the director was like, no, do it like this. And the actor was like, okay, I will do what you're telling me to do. Did it. Director was like, yes, that's what I want. They filmed it, they cut it, they edited it, and it's garbage because the director was fucking human garbage.
It's human garbage, yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
No, he tried his best, probably, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It really hammers home to me, like, how important each role within the production of a film is. Like, you can have the greatest... You can have The Sopranos. But if they're all dressed by the costume designer for this fucking show, like, it's going to undermine...
But I'll be on board for the campy costumes. That's what I'm saying. I'm on board for literally all of the other stuff.
It's either camp or it's serious, right?
It's just the way they deliver their lines ruins
But it's camp and then it's flat.
Yeah.
So it looks silly, but then it's just flat and boring. So it's like, what have you got? What are we doing here?
It's not even like flat and boring in an awkward way. It's just not interesting.
It's not even funny. It's just like, So in conclusion,
if you can find one,
is Dune adaptable? Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
I guess this is an ongoing conversation.
Okay,
which we
Dune
will
is
conclude.
not adaptable by me.
It's not the. It just needs to be the 22-hour book. That just works.
You can't make a 22-hour film.
Can you make a 6-hour film which does all of that?
And has Pink Floyd as the...
It looks amazing. It's gonna look amazing.
Has H.R. Giger doing the fucking artwork?
I don't know, for some reason, and it might be naivety or bias, but I just really have like this idea that it's gonna be good. I don't know why. I don't know. I believe in Villeneuve and I believe in the subject matter. And I think I don't know. On paper, if I was trying to plan out how you would do it, it's so complex.
If you're looking at paper, right, and you look at humanity and the way society is going, and like social media now, right, and you look at the perception that we are granted of society and our place in it, it's terrible. Right?
We're entering into a dark age of sorts.
Well,
it's amazing.
Seems that way.
It's the end of the American Empire, right?
But if you look at it on paper,
no.
Listen, no.
After this, I'm telling a story.
It on paper, every single metric is up.
Like economic.
Look at the ones that actually matter. Look at like global starvation rates. Look at like fucking education rates. Look at literacy rates. You start looking at things like that. You start looking at like the prevalence of mobile phones and the internet and information technology.
In the last decade, that's gone up. But I feel like the last 6 months has been like,
see, this is
a dip in.
I don't know. I don't know. No. What if what we're seeing isn't an accurate representation of what is actually happening? What if what we're seeing is a human reaction to a narrative we've been given?
No, that's actually very plausible. That's very plausible with fucking media and how it functions and how it skews reality.
I am not advocating for a conspiracy theory. I'm saying like literally everyone to the top, all the way to the top, if they're all reacting on the same information, they're all freaking the fuck out because they've got the same information and that information is entered into a little feedback loop.
I think the part the social media and the mainstream media plays within like the conscious psyche of society.
They have no fucking idea.
And they're not reporting on anything factual or relevant or real. It's just it is a narrative. It's a narrative.
No, hang on a second. You've just named a whole bunch of criteria that are really poorly defined to begin with. What is factual? What is real? What is You yourself has fallen into this trap of like judging reality.
Well, the news, right, should be a reflection on
of what?
Telling information relevant.
Okay, who defines what is and isn't information?
Well, that's the thing, right? This idea of information has been skewed in this narrative form of drama. Left, right, us,
Listen, we're humans. That's literally what we fucking thrive on.
We tell stories. Yeah. Our society is built upon telling stories. Jordan Peterson, the Bible.
How could you say that drama does not play a part in news?
But now it seems to overtake in it. Like the story is of drama.
Was that not
but I guess the story
was?
is not drama, right? The story right now is drama.
That's always what it was.
A pandemic. Fucking TV reality stuff.
It's fucking Men in Black. When Jay
Monk,
when Kay is sitting down and talking to
Tommy Lee Jones.
When Tommy Lee Jones is sitting down and talking to Will Smith, and he says they're sitting on the bench before Will Smith agrees to join the Men in Black, and he says that People are dumb, stupid, panicking animals. Yeah. Human is intelligent and reasonable, but a person is like people are fucking a cattle.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wanted to tell the story of Duncan Trussell, and it's been this mass exile from LA because shit has hit the fan and society is falling apart, and all these.
This is on Rogan.
Rogan and another podcast I've seen him on. They asked him why he was leaving LA. And he was talking about, this culture and this community that they built up that he loved and enjoyed, that built his career, that has all of a sudden been shut down. And you've got the entire of this industry just been completely broken off. And then on top of that, you got these laws which enforced homeless people being lifted, and you got this mass upsurge of these homeless people within this fucking mass pandemic, which is spread throughout society, and this disease which has shut down the economy, and there's like a mass uprising of these economically misunderstood vagabonds. And then he was talking about his culture and his people not being able to perform, and the monetary sense being shut off, and he's sitting in California, right, and these fucking forest fires are burning through fucking society, and it's like one of the hottest times it's ever been on the calendar, and everything around him is burning, and the sky is orange. He's unable to perform. His entire money source has been cut off from him. He's drinking a margarita in the pool, then all of a sudden he looks up and it starts raining ash. And he's sitting in his pool. It's raining ash on him. And he's like, okay, I need to move.
It's funny. It's like it's our generation has become a little bit older. And we've come to
crazy. Is
realization.
It not? My realization in the past 5 years is so weird.
Our parents aren't protecting us.
No!
And
no, we're not protecting us. Nobody's protecting us. It's like a feudal system in panic.
Yeah,
it's insanity.
It has been like this since the beginning. I don't know that you can point to a time when it hasn't been like this.
No. This is the best time it's ever been.
Yeah,
and it's hectic.
It's better now than it ever has been.
And it's hectic.
Fucking hectic.
It's crazy. Shit is falling apart. Shit is insane. The question was asked, when did you decide you need to leave LA? And it was like, about the time where it was raining ash upon me.
That's fair.
No,
build a fucking wall around yourself. That's all I can recommend. Build a wall around yourself and be like, alright, this is my little bit, and I'm gonna fucking defend this with a stick.
Fight for it.
That's all.
I guess you need to fight for it now. We're doing good in Australia. In comparison.
Have you seen the rover? You seen the rover?
The tag's up here.
Right, that's
becoming a reality, right?
Yeah, that's the end times of Australia.
Yeah, every day it just seems to be coming closer and closer to the dystopia.
I don't know that it is. I don't think it is.
But the 60s was a dystopia. Like the 80s was a dystopia.
I don't think it was. I don't think that. If you look at from the 60s to the 80s, things got measurably better.
Yeah. Well, that's a graph.
So how can you say that the 60s were a dystopia and the 80s were also a dystopia if things got measurably better?
Well, there's a cultural graph, right, where we progress and degress and progress and degress and progress and but we're doing this.
No.
But over time, it's going up.
I think what changes...
There are peaks and valleys, and there are peaks and valleys within this overarching...
I think what changes is the story that we tell ourselves about ourselves.
We're doing better now than we've ever done, educational-wise, economically-wise.
The whole global warming thing, right? There is a positive story about global warming that's happening right now. There's a massive positive story about our ingenuity, about humanity's ability to engineer a greater future for itself. Right? Look at fucking Tesla. Look at SpaceX. Look at I think it's fucking BMW are gonna literally shut down a whole bunch of their plants. Just shut down their plants so they can start making electric vehicles. You know.
But what about the middle class and the lower class? Because they're fuck city right now. There's 50% of fucking restaurants in New York are bankrupt.
Who writes history? The middle class doesn't write history.
It's true. the Vikings weren't even that vicious. It was just the perspective of the English.
Yeah, the middle class doesn't write history.
So the elites are doing well. We're not the elites, Jasper.
It's not. See, you got this weird. It's not about elites.
I'm concerned about my position within this
Oh,
evolving a minor environment. I know I'm fucked. I know. No.
I mean,
this is what you keep saying.
You're only fucked. You're only fucked relative to someone else.
That's true.
You know, so the beauty of that is that you get to pick your
Well, yeah, I'm either doing extremely well in comparison to people living in the Congo, or I'm either doing horribly in comparison to like
you get to pick your framework.
Celebrities in LA.
You get to pick your framework.
It's perspective.
That's the whole point of like.
Am I doing amazing or am I doing terribly?
Self-help books is teaching you to pick a better perspective.
And I think I actually am pretty good at smelling the fucking roses.
Yeah. Well, fuck them.
Yeah, no, fuck it. I mean, I don't know. I listen to the Beatles on vinyl and smoke weed. It's amazing. I don't give a fuck. I'm drinking clean water. What do you want from me? I mean, I'm doing dishes and I hurt my knee. Hurt my knee, Jasper. I'm getting old. This immortal vessel that I live within is functioning within a world where it's degrading constantly. And that's becoming very relevant to me. I keep on looking at my teeth with like the high light on my phone like, no, they're aging. They're wearing away. It's happening. This is something I'm very conscious of, Jasper. I'm dying.
You need to like calm down on that a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I suffer from like
I'm doing exceptionally well in comparison to where I was 3 years ago. I'm a
non-specific anxiety.
Beast. No, yeah.
I get the non-specific anxiety.
What does that entail?
So like you're anxious for no reason.
Oh, my anxiety is extremely specific.
Yeah. No. Mine's like
this
when I start getting it bad, it's literally non. It's like there's no reason for me to feel this way.
It's just an emotion washing over you.
But constantly like
that's terrifying.
Like
no. I'm like this
2 weeks is probably the longest I've gone like non-specific anxiety.
Well, yeah, I know that is.
And multivitamins help with that. Multivitamins like fucking helped a lot.
And all of that is like a genetic trait, right? Like you're either anxious or you're not anxious. Some people
no one fucking knows.
Well, some people are more anxious.
You go to a doctor and they're like, okay, well, we'll send you to this counsellor, and you go to the counsellor, and the counsellor's like, have you tried meditation? You know.
I feel pretty, genetically speaking, free and happy.
You just gotta fucking deal with it. You just gotta be like, all right, this is happening. It's like it's like being on acid. When you're on acid, you're on acid, right? And there comes a point where you're like,
you need to let go of control.
I'm on acid, and I'm freaking the fuck out. So I just need to relax and be like, okay, I'm on acid.
Well, it's
I need to let it go.
The plane analogy, right? I need to give up control.
It's the same thing with anxiety, non-specific anxiety. You need to be like, okay, I understand why this is happening. There's some imbalance.
Genetically.
I need to get on with my day's work.
Mentally.
Whatever it is, you need to be like, okay,
but at the
recognize it and move on. But it's the fear killer, right? Like, fear is the mind killer, right? You gotta be in that zone. You just gotta be like, okay, I understand.
But at the same time, right, you need to be super analytical and address that, and then consciously try to progress your situation and move forward. That's the Peterson thing, right?
No. Well, you don't have a. I don't have a choice. I don't have.
I don't have a choice. I'm Fox City. That's bullshit. I'm great, and I'm Fox City. Like, I'm living the best life ever. I'm living the greatest, like, experience that any human being could ever experience.
Alex.
And at the same time,
I have a 150-inch projector and like a sound bar.
Are you trying to compete with me?
No. I'm just saying, I got a pretty good fucking setup.
So do I, man. I'm living a great life, man. Like, an absolutely brilliant life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's shitty. And I expect more of myself in my situation. I'm washing dishes for $23 an hour, no penalty rates.
Yeah, that's because you're a bum.
I know. I've never never valued any sense of employment, and I've completely discarded and lived like a hippy-dippy, weed-smoking, art-appreciating life. And now it's impacting me in my 30s because I haven't strived for any level of career.
Yeah. You're not interested.
I'm not interested. People are like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, fucking nothing! I want to make YouTube videos. I want to paint. I want to do acid. I want to create music. Like, I don't want to be a brickie. I don't want to be a brickie. Oh no, what were you going to say, Justin?
Having kids.
Sucks. I know, I won. I have a kid, and she's great.
It's amazing. It's fucking amazing.
She's great. Yeah, no, it's amazing.
But I just don't have any time.
Yeah, no, they're time eaters.
That's my issue.
My mum said,
I've got to get better at like managing my time because so much of it now is just fucking consumed.
My mum said the hardest thing I'll ever do is raise children. And that's completely true. It doesn't matter. Any career path, any physical attribute, any leap you make or like attempt you'll make to progress through life, it doesn't compare to raising a fucking child. Like the Peterson thing, like Hitler had a mother, and what impact did she have on her son? It wasn't zero.
No.
Okay, well that's an important job then.
That's fair, yeah.
That might be the most important job. And we're doing that. Yeah. We could raise like a low life bum who impacts the world negatively, or we could raise somebody who
will there
help
when Tracy. I know you were there when Tracy was fucking marking William's essay.
Yeah. Are we talking about this on camera?
My kid had to write an essay. I made him write an essay because he did something wrong at school. So
That's actually, well,
this is what really I've been building him up to.
Appreciate.
This is what I've been building him up to. Rather than yelling, rather than getting angry, rather than whatever, it's like, okay, if you misbehave, you have to do work. And,
Literal work.
And the work is you have to like write an essay about the subject about the thing that got you in trouble. And explain to us why the fuck you decided to make the choices that you fucking made, you idiot.
Yeah, and explain
that.
I'm
not going to go into. Well, I'm not going to go into what it was that he did. But anyway, he had to write an essay, and I said up there to Dad and to Tracy and you that we're teaching him to write his manifesto.
and well, my response was, is he writing a good manifesto or a bad manifesto?
At least he can write.
Yeah.
At least
there are two options.
At least he'll be able to write.
And there are manifestos which reverberate within the social consciousness of society, and there are manifestos that are terrible and forgotten. You know, like what manifesto do you want your child to write? I'm totally trying to do that with Ella. Yeah, just expose her to like crazy, amazing art and just the insanity of fucking life, right? We were at North Lakes the other day, and I got a pair of chopsticks because I went to like a sushi shop and I was playing like drums on shit, and she's like, I want a pair of fucking chopsticks. I'm like, okay, well, like, I can't just go get a pair of chopsticks. They're gonna want us to buy something. It's like so we're gonna have to go steal a pair of fucking chopsticks. She's like, okay. I'm like, alright, well, that's what we need to do. And we walk up, and the guy's looking, and he's dealing with the customer. I'm like, alright, wait till he's not fucking looking. And then we go up, and we steal a pair of chopsticks. And like, the two of us are like running around society, like banging on everything, making this crazy, outlandish music with chopsticks that we've stolen. While everyone's looking at us, going like, who the fuck are you people? Like, stop fucking doing this. You people are insane. I'm like,
can't do that with boys.
Yeah, no, she's a different beast. She's a different beast completely.
You can't do that with boys. You do that with boys, and like that escalates into them attacking people.
I'm the other way, where like she's subdued and subtle and
you're
elegant.
trying to bring it out. Yeah. If I did something like that, if I was trying to do something with that,
they'd be throwing gasoline on City Beach.
It'd immediately escalate. It wouldn't.
With her, no.
I gotta try and like fucking stop them.
You're doing a different thing.
In a normal state, they are literally just chaos incarnate.
There's also like a genetic thing in play where like they're your children and she's my child, and like you're a different beast to me. Like,
maybe.
I was very subdued and quiet and withdrawn and isolated within school, and you were like picking up your desk and throwing it at this teacher. Like, yeah, and then the sex thing obviously plays a big part into it. But the fact is, like, go out there, teach your child about the life and the world. And it's not just about these inbuilt parameters, it's about understanding the parameters and breaking them and breaching them and going forth from them. I feel like Mark is really, I don't know, I feel like he's undermining his children by protecting them from the world rather than teaching them about the world. Ow, my knee.
I thought you were doing that. I'm like,
Oh no, I hurt my knee because I'm old.
you were doing this. And
It's
sorry.
No, yeah, it's over. Yeah, no, it's not about saving your children from the world. It's about teaching them about the world and setting them free into the madness. But once again, we're doing different things.
But what is Mark's problem?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We're leading very two different lives, but maybe we should be. Like, maybe he shouldn't be leading an Alex life. And I'm definitely shouldn't be leading a Mark life.
We gang up on Mark and we're mean to him.
Why is that, though? Are we terribly assertive alpha male?
No.
Then what are we? Are we trying?
Cunts.
We're cunts. And he's not a cunt. He's actually really nice.
That's his problem.
Alpha. He's too nice. He's too submissive. No,
Yeah.
but he's also really angry.
He's really angry, but like he's too submissive up until the point he becomes really angry, and then that's the payoff.
I'm not necessarily like angry or submissive. I feel like, oh, maybe this is a romantic image of myself, but I feel like I'm just outlandish and weird.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the realm I want to live. I want to be running around playing chopsticks on bins and Northflakes, and people being like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
If someone comes at you aggressively, you come back with a comment that doesn't compute with their
and I enjoy the
economy.
fact that I undermined what they expect.
Yeah.
Whereas Mark is submissive and you're just manic. We're all different people, man. We're all doing our own different thing.
I resent the label manic.
What are you, Jasper?
I don't know, but I just resent that label.
Yeah, I guess it has negative connotations. Well, yeah, what would you say about yourself?
Manic.
Alright, thank you all for watching this review of Dune!
Cheers.
Good night. So before we talk about Dune, let's talk about Dune! So before we talk about Dune, let's talk about Dune! So before we talk about Dune, let's talk about Dune!
Your first experiences with Dune.
And anyway...
Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, okay.
Jesus Christ. I should read Terry Pratchett.
And he's like, nah.
Yeah, so I listened to the audiobooks and it completely encapsulated and absorbed my very essence. And yeah, those first 4 books are some of the greatest sci-fi.
You need to read Hyperion next. That's the next step. Come on.
Well, listen to Dune.
This is where you need to go. You've done Dune, now you need to do Hyperion.
I guess it's like a somewhat accurate adaptation. The visuals, the costumes, the sets, the acting is terrible.
It's garbage. The beginning of the film
isn't setting up what the fuck
is Hulk, and we're just going to assume you know what the fuck Hulk is. That's why you bought a ticket to a Hulk film.
I mean, Peter Jackson is a B/horror gore fan.
Like fuck you. We're not here to hold your hand.
Nah. Yeah, no, that's right. He's got 3 hours to do the first half of the book. Go on. It's the archetypical hero story. It's Jesus, it's Noah, it's Goliath, it's David, well, it's Star Wars, right? It's Luke Skywalker, it's Merlin, it's the Sword in the Stone, it's the archetypical hero's journey.
He's got to deliver these lines like an important character, but he's dressed up like a fucking fairy. They relied far too much on CG.
Can you adapt to Dune?
I don't know. Is Dune unadaptable? Still, that is the funniest fucking thing I've seen in a long time. That is hilarious.
Then all of a sudden, they need to rock her up with fucking 18 butterflies pinned to her dress. The costume looks terrible.
And, like I said, if you're gonna rock up to Arrakis with a jewel, it would be a butterfly.
It works metaphorically, it just doesn't work literally. It looks terrible.
Gentlemen and ladies, Her Royal Majesty, Princess Gurulan Corino.
Yeah,
It's terrible costume design.
no, it's garbage.
It is, yeah.
They were like, what the fuck do we do? Just pin these fucking butterflies on her. Paul's like,
children.
nah. Superimpose Paul Atreides over Lawrence Arabia and still like scream it's not a white saviour story.
Yeah, so the white man is evil. Yes, Frank Herbert, the white man is evil. We all know it.
But really, what we need to be talking about is global warming propaganda. I stopped watching it now.
I would have loved for Star Wars to be good.
I never finished it because it was just like, it's not gonna. The same Star Wars. I didn't finish it because it's like this is not. I've done this before. I stuck through the motherfucking Wheel of Time before audiobooks.
Yeah.
Like reading the motherfucking Wheel of Time. I stuck through that shit.
Old man.
It was amazing.
And then?
But I don't recommend it on anyone. Right?
No, you've actually never recommended it to me.
No, don't try to sit down and read the fucking Wheel of Time.
15 books.
It's a waste of your time.
Jesus Christ, Jasper.
It's great. It's a waste of time. For the same reason I didn't, because I've already been down that path. I didn't need to finish fucking stuff. What was I gonna get out of the last Star Wars film?
AIDS.
Well, I don't particularly want AIDS.
Well, I got them and they were good. Thank you, Star Wars. As soon as I sat down on my chair, AIDS. So it looks silly, but then it's just flat and boring. So it's like, what have you got? Yeah, the question was asked, when did you decide you need to leave LA? And it was like, yeah, about the time where it was raining ash upon me.
Have you seen the rover? Have you seen the rover? You're only fucked. You're only fucked relative to someone else.
That's true. Yeah, no, fuck it. I mean, I don't know. I listen to the Beatles on vinyl and smoke weed. It's amazing.
Fear is the mind killer, right? You gotta be in that zone. You just gotta be like, okay, I understand. In a normal state, they are literally just chaos incarnate.
It's not about saving your children from the world. It's about teaching them about the world and setting them free into the madness. Thank you, Star Wars. As soon as I sat down on my chair, AIDS.